Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from Qubrid AI. In this video, we'll be going about to understand how to use any open source model of your choice using Qubrid AI on Cursor. So you might have been wondering, how do I use any model of my choice on Cursor? Is that even possible? So what you can do is, first of all, yes, that is possible to use any model of your choice on Cursor. The model just needs to be capable enough to handle your requests, right? So to start ahead, first of all, you need to go to Cursor. A brief overview about Cursor for those of you who don't know. It's a agentic or AI IDE which helps you build things right via chat. If you have something in mind, for example, build me an application which does this things, just type it down here. Cursor will plan the entire thing and get it done for you. You can just ship it directly in case that's how you want to proceed. So in these cases, it's very good. It's good for vibe coding, and for teams who are building products, it is also very good as an assistant to use, as in to help you with different queries, different tasks which might be asked by your teammates, or let's say if you want to have it resolve something for you, those things are very good, and that's exactly how people use Cursor for. In this video particularly, we'll be knowing about how to use Cursor with your model of your choice. If you go to Cursor, you can just click on the small message thing or toggle agents tab. It will open up a new agents section where you can see about the chat window, right? In this section, you'll be able to see a small toggle or small modal which says auto. It also, when you hover on it, it will tell you about the switcher model. Just click on it and disable auto. Once you disable auto, you'll be able to see a list of all models which are by there available to use on Cursor. Now, you might be wondering, there are only Anthropic models here, or let's say Cursor's own models here. How do I use other models which are on Cursor by default? So for that, you need to go to and click on Add Models. And you can see all the different models which are available on Cursor. Let's say Composer, Kimi, 2.5, Sonnet, Opus, GPT models, Gemini models, and stuff. But that's not the main point, right? First of all, these models are very, very costly. So if you have the budget for it, definitely you can go ahead with it. But there are open source alternatives which are as good as how these perform, right? You can use various models, like let's say you can use DeepSeek models, you can use Kimi models. Of course, Kimi 2.5 is available, but the latest Kimi models you can use, maybe Kimi 2.6 even, right? You can also use Qwen models, the latest one which we already have on Qubrid, Qwen 3.7 Max. Maybe you want to use that model. You can use any model on Cursor. Now, how do that? Let's go back to the Qubrid platform. If you go back to the Qubrid platform, you'll be able to see this documentation tab right here. Or you can alternatively always go to docs.platform.qubrid.com. When you open up docs, it will take you to our page. You have to scroll down a little bit on the left-hand side, right? And you need to you need to go to the integration section. We support integrations with Zed, OpenClaw, and Cursor as of now. So you can click on Cursor. Once you click on that, you'll be able to see the entire documentation which states about how to use any model from Qubrid AI on Cursor. Now, for those of you who don't know, Qubrid is also the APIs which Qubrid provides. They are OpenAI compatible. So any place you want to use these APIs, you just need to switch the base URL as well as the model name, and everything else works like a charm. Of course, the API key. So to start ahead, you need to open Cursor settings first. As I said, you need to go to Cursor settings. Once you have done that, you need to go to the models tab, which we went. Now, when you go back to the models tab, you need to uncheck all of these models which are available here by default, right? So that the auto selector does not select any model from here which is already available. Let's head back to the docs, what it says next. Next, you need to go back to the platform, that is Qubrid platform. You need to first of all, you need to have an API key for that, right? But even before that, you need to go back to Cursor and click on API keys. Once you click on the API keys section, this section will expand. And you'll be able to see that you can put an OpenAI API key or an Anthropic API key, even a Google API key, along with the Azure OpenAI key, AWS Bedrock keys, whatever you want to use, right? If you have any of these, you can use your keys from here. But of course, those will be costly, right? Google models are costly. Same goes for Anthropic models. Every frontier model is costly. If you want to use open source models in particular, which are definitely cost effective, what you can do is you can go ahead and enable this OpenAI API key. Now, why do I enable this? Because Qubrid's APIs are OpenAI compliant. So first of all, go ahead and activate it, right? Click on Enable OpenAI API key. If this part is deactivated by default, make sure you enable it. Because what we'll really do is we'll override the OpenAI's base URL, because the base URL for Qubrid AI is different. So enable this, and then you'll be able to see that you can add your own base URL in this part. Next part needs you to come to the Qubrid AI platform. Click on the API keys on the top, or if you are on the playground, you can just click here to get an API key. Versus if you're on a model page, you can go to any model page, right? Let's say if we take DeepSeek V4 Flash, or let's say take Pro as an example, right? Anything which you can take and look at. For this example, we'll be using Qwen 3.7 Max. It has a good ability to perform all these things. So you can go to this model details page and you can see the entire details about the model. Once you have done that part, you can just click on Get API Key. Now, before that, you do need to make sure that your credits are enabled or added. You need to add credits, minimum of $5, going up to a maximum of whatever amount you want, right? Between $1,000. So just add the credits, and once you have that, then only you'll be able to use this model, right? So now the next step is click on Get API Key. Once you click on Get API Key, you'll be taken to another section which says Create your own API key. If you have any, then you can use it. If you don't have any, click on Create one. You can name the project as Cursor, just for your reference at a later point of time. That maybe Cursor API key is something it would be worth using. We also do recommend you to rotate your keys once every week or month, whatever is your timeline. You can choose an expiration date. For me, I'll just choose an expiration date, let's say 31st, which is tomorrow. And just click on Create API Key. Once you have done that part, just copy the API key. You have to keep sure and keep this in mind that this API key will be displayed only once. And if you lose this API key, you'll need to regenerate a new one. You can always go back to the API key section. It will help you identify which API key it is with the first section, but the rest of the API key won't be shown to you. So be sure that you have it somewhere safe and secure. Now, once you've copied the API key, head back to Cursor and go ahead and put your API key in this section, which mentions about adding your OpenAI key, API key, right? You need to override the base URL. Now, what exactly is the base URL? First of all, delete the base URL which you already say in that part. And if you go back to any platform, or let's say Qwen 3.7 Max in particular, you can see the base URL is same for every API which we have at Qubrid. For our case, it's platform.qubrid.com/v1. Just copy the base URL, right? And then head back to Cursor. Just choose this option to override the OpenAI base URL and paste your base URL from Qubrid. You can use any provider of your choice. We at Qubrid do have a wide variety of models to use for, so you can also use our our base URL to help you get things in a cheaper and cost-effective way. We have access to over 60 plus open source models in the platform, so that you don't have to switch to different platforms to create new API keys for each platform. You can use Qwen models, you can use DeepSeek models, you can use Minimax models, any model of your choice. That you can use GLM, you can use Kimi, even the frontier models. For example, if you want to use GPT models, those are also available on Qubrid with just a single API key. So you just need to add credits in one place. So it's really one unified API for all the different kinds of models which you might want to use. Once you have done this section is all set, right? Let's go back to the docs and see what it does. So you can see we have done till this part, that is the base URL is overridden now. Now you can see, and you can go back to Cursor and you can add a custom model. How do we do that? Just head back to Cursor and click on Add Custom Model, right? Now it will ask you for a model name. What do we enter here? In this section, for example, for Qwen 3.7 Max, if we go to the details of Qwen 3.7 Max, this exactly is the name of the model, right? Let's see, if we go to Qwen 3.7 Max, you'll be able to see the name of the model is this one, Qwen/Qwen 3.7 Max. You need to copy this model name or model ID exactly as it is. If you do a mistake in this part, if you just copy this part, remove the hyphen or something, the thing will not work. So you have to copy the entire model name. For Qwen 3.7 Max, it's Qwen 3.7 Max, right? Just copy the entire thing, head back to Cursor. Go ahead and paste the name, and click on Add. Once you have done, you'll be able to see the model which you just added, see, Qwen 3.7 Max. Now, when you go back, you can safely close the settings, and if you go back to your agent section to type in something, you'll be able to see it under Disable Auto, and you will be able to see Qwen 3.7 Max, the model which we just added. Just click on Qwen 3.7 Max. And there we go, right? You can use Cursor with your own open source model of your choice. To see if it works, let's ask it to create something, right? Let's say maybe create a markdown file about open source models and how to use them via Qubrid AI. Okay. Now just click on send, and you'll be able to see that Cursor is starting to use Qwen 3.7 Max via Qubrid and the API keys which we provided, and it will be starting to working. You see, it is starting to generate the open source model guide right there. Now, if you're using it for some other things, right? For example, if you're using it for creating any app, you can do whatever type of queries you want to do there, right? It says that it has created the OpenAI in the project folder. You see, the entire markdown is ready. If you just click on preview, it will be able to show you about all the different kinds of things, right? Let's see the content. Now, if it's a LLM, the content might not be good because it's a very simple prompt, right? It says open source models. It says about different open source models which are there. It does say about code specialized multimodal things, and it says how to use via Qubrid AI. It does mention about the Cursor ID integration, which is actually very good. And it does say about how to self-host models and stuff. So the information might not be accurate. That's what I'm trying to say. But the thing will work, right? If you wanted to create a basic, let's say, website, if you ask it, create a basic website for my, um, let's say, mobile phone selling shop, hit enter, right? It will start to think, it will start to do different things, and then you'll be able to see that it will keep a plan of what exactly things are required. See, it will be building it with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can already see it has started to create different things. It is creating an index.html, and then it will be creating a CSS file, it will be creating JavaScript, maybe different files, maybe all within the same file. It depends. I'll cut back to that part wherein it generates the CSS as well as the JavaScript, and I'll show you about how it looks compiled, okay? Now, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to actually interact with things. Right? When you click on shop now, it takes to this part. Click on add cart. It says iPhone Max is added to cart. Click on checkout. Of course, checkout won't work. Maybe you can integrate it with Stripe or something, whichever you want. You can see the different things are working. It's functional, right? Let's say adding a OnePlus to my cart, adding a Samsung to my cart. You see the cart gets updated, the value gets updated. All those kind of things are there. You can see about what the customers say, get in touch. You can put in things, click on send, maybe different kinds of things, do things, right? So that's created an entire functional website. What I was trying to show you that it actually works. And whenever you want to see about the cost, you can just go back to the Qubrid dashboard. You can see the inferencing logs. You can see about how much it costs, right? So if you want to keep costs in check, if you want to use open source models via Qubrid and open source models on Cursor, you can just get a OpenAI compliant API key from us. You can just get back and use it with whichever model you want. I showed you just an example. You need to definitely check about which models are supported for Cursor. The models which are intelligent enough or have agentic capabilities are definitely suggested, which are most likely every models nowadays. But we do have a huge collection of models. You can see whichever model you want to use, DeepSeek, Kimi, GLM, Qwen, and you can go ahead and use it with Cursor. Once you're done using the entire thing, whenever you want to delete the model or something, just go back and click on add models again, go to API key, disable your API key, and disable the base URL, right? That will disable the Qwen model from there. If you want to be safe, just go ahead and delete the API key as well, then click on disable. And once you have done, you can delete the model from here as well, and you can also switch on and off any model which you want, and you can see as you go back there, you can just enable as many models as you want. Go back to this place, click here and click on auto mode, and then you'll be if you disable auto, you'll be able to see which models we just checked in, right? So that is it about how to use any open source model via Qubrid on Cursor. If you have any questions, you can just go through this documentation, which is docs.platform.qubrid.com/integration/cursor, and you can monitor your usage. You can go to the entire documentation. You can let us know if you have any questions. There's also a FAQ section. If you have any thing which might need asking, you need to ask, go there. Or if we have an AI search, which is primarily in beta mode, you can just ask about how to integrate with Cursor, or whatever question you might have, right? This is also created by the team at Qubrid AI. You can see the entire AI answers will be done, right? It'll help you with questions from within the documentation. So you can help us know. You can let us know if you have any questions in the YouTube comment section down below. You can also join our Discord server. Just click on Discord community. You can join our Discord community, and we'll be able to help you out. Any questions about how to use Cursor, we'll be also posting the other integrations soon. We did post a video about how to use Qubrid models via OpenClaw. You can also look at that if you are an OpenClaw user. But this video was all about basically how to use any open source model in the world via Qubrid AI on Cursor. If you feel that there are some models which need to be added, you can just request a new model and we'll be right onto it. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. Hope you had a wonderful time and you learned something. If you have any questions, let us know and we'll be happy to help. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye.